I am working on a 1970s Gibson SJ-200 Artist. The original intent on this guitar was to simply do a neck reset, not a refret. But when I had the neck back in, there was too much inconsistency in the fingerboard, and more importantly, the frets, to get the setup as low as it should be. So a refret was in order, and after consulting with the customer, I got to work. The first step is to remove the nut, as it is in the way of doing any work on the fingerboard, and will almost always need to be shimmed or replaced when doing a refret. Most of the time, we can remove a nut by a few well-placed hammer blows, directed by a small block of wood. But in this case, the putty someone had used to fill the gaps around the nut were holding it in place too tightly, so I had to use my thinnest saw, 0.010 of an inch, to cut behind the nut and provide some room to get the nut to move. After that, one hammer blow and the nut was loose quite cleanly. This is a common technique when dealing with the double-angled nuts on old Martin guitars. I will often say that if you only know one way to do a job, you don't really know how to do it. This refret is a perfect example of that idea. Quality of the previous fret job, presumably done when the inlay was installed, was not great. In addition, anytime you have large pieces of pearl next to a fret slot, you need to worry about chip out and lifting pieces of inlay. For this reason, I chose to use the truss rod to back bow the neck a bit and to use a soldering iron to heat the frets up before I removed them. The back bow opens up the fret slot slightly and the heat loosens any glue around the frets. This allows me to pull the frets as cleanly as possible. No inlay was lost pulling the frets. As I showed in an earlier video, the fingerboard on this guitar had been badly oversanded, so I needed to be very circumspect about cleaning up the fingerboard. I also had to rebuild some of the fret slots, and the inlay was so thin that even with very light sanding, I ended up getting a few thin spots and had to replace 3 pieces of inlay. Please comment, like, and subscribe. We have t-shirts on the website, and you can come in on Saturdays for same-day setups. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, and enjoy your guitar.